Hello, everyone.
Hi, how are you guys?
Welcome to the Moms Interrupted podcast. These are your favorite moms, Taylor and Natasha.
You know it.
You know it.
Welcome.
We know it.
Everyone
knows it.
Can we thank you guys for tuning in and listening, because we have had 1,000 streams on Spotify, which is not only really cool for us, but also what a cool community that we're building, and I'm so pumped for us.
And 1,000 streams might seem so small to someone else, but to us it feels so huge because we are very DIY and we are just trying to reach as many moms as possible. But when we started this podcast, we were like, even if we reach 1, 2, 3 moms that are struggling and feel alone in motherhood, then our job has been done in the correct way. And so the fact we reached 1,000 people and far more on social is really exciting for us, and it makes us want to keep going. We just hope you're learning something and feeling supported.
Yes, and we're so excited to expand all of this and what we do and how we interact with you guys. We're just super pumped to have you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Welcome back.
And whether you are pregnant or you want to be at some point or you are a mom already, this topic is for you, even if you have a 3, 4, 5-year-old, because we're going to be talking about sleep. Sleep is an intense subject. To be honest, when Natasha and I first started, I thought in my head, do we even want to go there with some topics? Because I feel like when you talk about sleep, vaccines, or breastfeeding versus formula, no matter how in the middle you're trying to be, no matter how supportive of all moms you're trying to be, pitchforks will come out. People will get upset. People will get triggered, even if you're trying to be extremely PC. But at the same time, you can't talk about being a mother or mothering without talking about these issues, because it comes up every day. So we're going to talk about it, and we recognize that it's a controversial subject, and when we approach it, we'll never shame moms for what they are doing, and just know that our motto is whatever works for you works.
We're on your team. We're moms. Just like we're girls, we're moms. And we just want to be here to support you and bring stories and our experience and what we've found and what we've heard from other people, our friends, other moms, to you guys. And again, there's no judgment. There's so many different types of families. There's so many different types of babies. It's all about figuring it out and doing what works for you.
Who is a sleep expert?
Oh.
You say you're a sleep expert, I'm skeptical. If you say you are someone who will give practical techniques and lay down what the research is, and you will tell a mom that you can try this, but it may or may not work, and that's okay, then sure, you're a sleep expert. But if you're selling courses online, I am skeptical.
The thing is with sleep is that every baby is different. Every mom is different. Every family dynamic is different. There's just so many factors at play that you can't take a course online and be like, just follow this to a T and it will work. It won't work for everyone. It won't work for every mom. It won't work for every baby. Everything has to be taken with a grain of salt. I understand wanting to get your baby to sleep. I understand wanting to get more sleep for yourself. There are tons of different ways to approach that. There's splitting nights with your partner. There's hiring a night doula or night nanny. There's hundreds of different ways to approach it. The reality of it is that you're gonna have broken sleep for X amount of time.
Yeah.
And depending on how you want to handle it, it could change or it could not. If you want to co-sleep. If you want your baby to sleep in a crib, then do that. But know that there are going to be different times when your baby wakes up, different times that you get more or less sleep. Yeah. Sleep is not linear, and it lasts. The sleep issues, if you want to call it that, they change as your kids get older. Now that my son is 3.5 and potty trained, he refuses to wear a pull-up at night. And so oftentimes he has to wake up in the middle of the night and go potty.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say is when we're talking about sleep, I think it's so important. I had to keep going back to the fact that people were telling me my baby should be sleeping through the night, which by the way, through the night technical standpoint is 6 hours.
Definition is 6 hours.
6 to 10 hours. But people literally think that sleep through the night means your baby's going to bed at 7, waking up at 7, and that's what they should be doing by X months. What I would say to that is take a second and think, do you sleep every night for the same amount of time and never get up? I sometimes wake up at 3, my brain turns on, I can't go back to sleep. Sometimes I wake up, I really have to pee, it takes me a while to get back to sleep. Sometimes I go to bed later because it takes me a while to fall asleep. Sometimes I wake up earlier, the sun's out, I'm stimulated, I want to get up. So why do we put these expectations on babies to be robots instead of humans? Because it's not human nature to sleep the same amount of time every single night.
It's the same thing with bottle feeding and expecting your baby to intake the same amount of milk at every single feed at an X amount of hours interval in between each feed. That is not how humans work. I'm all for a routine. I love a routine, right? Yes. I think that babies thrive on routines. Humans thrive on routines.
I've got my blue light blocking glasses on at night. I have earplugs. I have an eye mask. I have a sound machine. I love the dark. So sure, try those things with babies.
Try those things and try different things for a few days. See what works. We're all for it. There's all kinds of things that you can do, that you can buy if you must. A whole bunch of crap that you can spend your money on, but you could try. And some things really work for some babies. All we're saying is that it might not work for you. Whatever course you bought might not work. It may work great. I have 2 babies. I bought a course the first time. It worked really well. Obviously, I believe in following your intuition, but I didn't know anything about baby sleep, and people just told me that they're supposed to sleep through the night 12 hours, and I was like, how does that happen? Because my baby wakes up every 2 hours. So I was like, what are the steps to get there? I did some what I would call sleep encouraging with him, and he never slept 12 hours in his entire life, maybe 2 times. But he started sleeping 10, 11. If you go into it knowing that your baby will probably not sleep 12 hours at night,
and that it can change.
You're just setting yourself up for success. Thinking that every single baby is going to sleep 7 to 7 every single night is insane.
Yeah.
Sorry, but whoever is trying to sell you on that is incorrect.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there aren't corner cases where babies do that.
Yeah.
Some people that I know, their babies sleep 7 to 7.
Yeah.
But if you have that type of baby,
congrats.
And I'm so happy for you, but we shouldn't go into it with the expectation that that's going to happen.
Yes, and also we shouldn't be telling other moms, I did this and this worked, why aren't you trying that? Then you start to get into judgment, comparison. It's like how Natasha might go to bed at 10 p.m. and that works for her. I can't function unless I have to go to bed when the sun is about to go down, or around 8.
Right.
And that sounds crazy to some people my age, but that's just what works for me. Babies are the same.
Right.
They're all different. Sometimes the earlier bedtime works for some, sometimes a later. It's all about just figuring out who your baby is, what works for you guys, getting to know what's going on and what works with the family.
100%. Family dynamics are a huge part of it, but also, like you said, getting to know your baby and their temperament. Something that I wish I knew going into motherhood was that temperament plays such a huge role in everything, feeding, personality, and sleep. I didn't realize what temperament even was. I wish someone would have told me. I mean, some kids,
their desire to sleep by you,
their desire to sleep attached to you, their desire to just sleep at all. I mean, the whole 12 hours thing that's the max, right? Like, you shouldn't leave your baby in their sleep space for more than 12 hours overnight. So we shouldn't go into it thinking that that's the expectation.
Right.
It's 10 to 12 hours, and that's an average. So some babies only want to sleep. Like, I have a girlfriend right now her baby sleeps through the night. He sleeps 9.5 hours. And she's like, should I be trying to get him to sleep 10 or 11 hours? And I'm like, dude, he's sleeping 9.5 hours. That is a win.
Yeah.
Like, you're putting him down and he's sleeping 9.5 hours. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You should celebrate that. That is huge. My baby does not do that. She's 9 months old, and I still feed her once or twice in the night. And people will say that I should wean her at night. And for you, I say you come over at 2 in the morning and deal with that, because I don't want to. I want to feed her and go right back to sleep. And that is what's working for me.
Yes.
And I don't want to hear anything. I'm not trying to fix it.
Yeah.
If you are coming to a friend being like, what do you think? I'm looking for advice.
You don't think there's something to be fixed.
There's nothing wrong. I'm happy with the situation. She only wakes up twice in the night.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wake up twice in the night.
Hell
sometimes.
yeah. Hell yeah. I gotta pee, whatever. My son, I was more strict with as far as sleep goes, because I was super anxious, and the only thing that made me feel better was getting more sleep. So another huge factor with baby sleep is maternal mental health. The more sleep you get, the better your mental health is typically. You may be just so desperate to get some sleep. That is your break. I totally get it. And I was there, especially the first time around. I was like, I can't take this anymore. It was maybe a night or two of like I weaned night feeds, and it worked for us. My daughter, try to night wean her. She's like, yeah, right. And then he also did really well with an early bedtime. I'm talking 6:30 p.m. He would chug an 8-ounce bottle. I'd feed him around 10. I'd go to sleep, and then he would sleep through the night. My daughter, I tried the same thing on her. Babies are different. They're humans. They have preferences. She also in the day has a lot more preferences in general. My son, super easygoing, always happy, always jolly. So just different temperaments. Like, I think that 10% of babies are like easy babies that are likely to adapt well to certain schedule changes or more flexible.
Studies show that if a mom can get at least one night with a 5-hour stretch of sleep a week, her mental health drastically improves.
Oh, that's a great stat.
So what's really interesting about that is if you're not a mom yet, you're like, what the fuck? One night of 5-hour stretch? Like, are you for real?
Yeah.
But if you are a mom already, you're like, oh, okay, that's an interesting statistic to go by.
Super interesting.
Because if you can ask your partner or have a friend come over and just make sure that you get one 5-hour stretch a week, it can make huge improvements with mental health postpartum. Yeah. And what I also would say is connected to those studies, a lot of the times what has also been proven is the easiest time in which to get that is the beginning of the night. So what really helped me knowing that is that it's really hard sometimes to wake up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. The hormone levels in your body are a little different. Sometimes it's hard to go back to bed as you're approaching the morning hours.
Same thing for your baby.
Same thing for baby. So for me, what really helped was telling my husband, I am going to go to bed as soon as the sun sets. Whatever you have to do with baby until his next feed is your job.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to sleep 5 hours. If that means you have to feed a bottle or just rock him, figure it out.
Right.
I'm not talking about if baby is 4 days old and needs to feed every 2 to 3 hours. I'm talking about once you've hit the 2, 3, 4 week mark, you're still feeling like you're not getting that stretch of sleep.
I'm talking about the 2, 3, 4 month mark.
Yeah. No, seriously, you need to go to bed when the sun is setting and get that 5-hour stretch and be like, don't bring baby to me until I get that 5-hour minimum stretch.
Obviously, if baby's inconsolable and needs mom. We're not talking about that. We're talking about baby's good, baby's cared for, all baby's needs are met. And this is just a like, I want to be on a human. Dad can handle. Yes. Which is what really helped me because I had a baby who, like Natasha was saying, 10% of babies are easy. No, that was not my baby. I was definitely in the 3-hour or so boat until I want to say almost 6 months. Yeah. And every 3 hours at night.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I did hit some points where I couldn't do it anymore. And it got really, really hard. And I knew at this point, because at 6 months, I should put a photo right here. My baby was eating enough. He was eating enough. He was eating too much.
You guys, no, there's no such thing as overfeeding a breastfed baby. But if you went solely off looks, you might think that he was eating too much.
Literally, I'm gonna put a photo here. I went home once and someone in the neighborhood, it was a friend's mother, had come over and was like, "You've got the Haagen-Dazs milk." So rest assured, he was getting enough milk, and it must have been around 4 months. I was like, I need more sleep. I can't do it. We both hit those breaking points. We get it.
Everybody hits the point where you're like, something has to change.
Something has to change.
And it just depends on what you're comfortable with doing. Yeah. Like maybe you don't want to give baby to dad. Or maybe you don't want a nanny coming in. Sure, fine.
And that's what I was going to say.
Do whatever, do whatever you feel comfortable with. But everyone gets to the point where they're like, I have to change something. What is it?
Yeah. So when I hit that point around 4 to 5 months or something, I was like, this is where, fine, I will wake up still 1 to 2 times. I will feed him. Yeah. But the rest of the times he is waking up, babe, it is on you.
Yeah.
It is on you. You are on the clock. You can go bounce him on the fucking ball. Yeah. I don't care what you have to do.
Right.
But earplugs will be in my ears and I will be in the guest room and I will be sleeping.
Yeah. I am a huge proponent of mom's mental health matters. Your baby needs to be fed. Your baby needs you. You need to meet all of the needs of your baby, but you can't drive yourself into a hole where you can no longer take care of your baby anymore. And when you get to the point, it should be before that. But when you get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm suffering here, that's when we need to ask for help from your partner, from your mom, from whoever. My priority with both of my kids was the 7 to 10 o'clock hours. By the time dinner and bedtime rolls around, I am so wiped. Both of my kids did this thing, which I found out is called a false start. So I would put them down for bed in their crib, and both of them would wake up at the 40 minute mark and wake up and be crying. Drove me bonkers. I was like, I can't take this anymore. And everything that I found online was like, it's a phase, it'll pass. Here are your options. You either just hold your baby through that 40-minute mark every night and then put them down. It was like, let them cry, just don't go in. And I was like, okay, I don't want to do either of those, right? Yeah. Fine, if that works for you. But for me, I was like, don't want to do either of those. I ended up doing the pick up, put down method. So find what works for you and be consistent, right? Mm-hmm. Like you said, figure out what your priority is. I needed 7 to 9 o'clock to just decompress from the day, and I still feel like that. My kids need to go to bed. I need to have an hour or two to myself, and then I can go to sleep. And with my son, it was super hard for me to wake up at 2 a.m. to feed him, and so I weaned that feed, and I kept the 10 o'clock feed, and then I would go to bed after that. With my daughter, the hardest to wake up for me is 11 o'clock, 10:30 or 11 o'clock. I'm like, there's no way in hell that I am risking my REM sleep to wake up and feed this baby. So then my husband and I were like, okay, he could stay up later. I mean, she's pissed when he goes in there, but he's like, I'll try, and if it doesn't work, then I'll hit the SOS button and I'll come get you.
That's what we did too. It was like, you try to go in there, see if maybe it's not food that he needs. Right. And then, if it is, then here are my boobs.
Right. I'm
going to feed my child.
Of course. And you know when your baby's hungry. Like I said, she wakes up twice in the night at this point. It's been a long process. Sleep is not linear, is the other thing I was going to say. The first year of my son's life, I was like, once he sleeps through the night, he's going to sleep through the night forever. Ha! It just... humans. We're humans.
And also kids' needs change throughout their life. So I have been sleeping with my toddler in the same bed for 2 months now. Mm-hmm. And the other day I jokingly told my husband, we need better blinds in Kelly and I's room. And he was like, have I been booted for life to the guest room? And I was like, we'll see. And we've tried things. We've tried all the things. And I just think he's at a point in his life where he needs his mama. And that's fine with me. He sleeps through the night, but it has to be next to me. And whatever works for you works. We would put him in his crib, and 45 minutes later, he'd wake up screaming mama. And I just couldn't take it. And it's just, that's the way my life is right now. And just knowing it's a phase, and in a few months we'll try again. In a few days we'll try again. Right. And we'll see what happens.
And like you said, we went out recently for dinner, and Taylor left her son with a babysitter, and she was like, oh God, I wonder how this is gonna go. And he went down fine for her.
Yeah.
So it really, the thing is that, like you said, everything's a phase. They don't act the same for everyone. Like, he's 2, he understands what's going on, mommy's coming back, all those things. And with my 3-year-old, when I'm out and he has to go down for a nap, or he is at home with dad, like, he understands mommy's coming back. So there's certain things throughout the different phases that you can do based on what you're comfortable with. Like, I knew every single time I put my son in his crib that he would cry for 3 minutes and then he would pass out. That I was okay with that.
Yeah.
If it went on for a long time, or if the crying got really intense, I was like, okay, I'm not okay with that. I'm going to go in and check on him and see what's going on. That's not in our normal. So I think it's just really getting to know your baby. And
I used to think like any little sound, rush in and figure out what's going on.
I mean, you can do that.
You can.
Like,
who cares?
For me, I've stopped, give it a couple minutes. I'm like, is she really crying? Like, maybe she'll do like a couple wow-wows, but if she got super worked up, I would obviously go in and see what was going on.
Yeah.
But like, I wait. I take a couple minutes. I put them down for bed. I give them a second to see what they're going to do. I would say my daughter puts herself to sleep 50% of the time, but I've been working on her putting herself to sleep for 3-ish months, right?
Yeah.
So I think going into motherhood, parenthood, knowing that it's not an overnight thing, you're kind of always working on sleep. It's not black and white too. You listen to your intuition. Like, some nights you're like, they're fine, I can tell they're fine, like, this is not something that I need to deal with. Some nights you're like, wow, this is out of the norm, I am going in there. And some people will tell you like, oh, don't go in, you're gonna mess up all your progress. No, get out of here. People are trying to sell you stuff. Yeah. Right? Maybe that worked for them and their kids. Like, who are they? Like, they don't know your baby. They don't know you. So yeah, you can take those courses, but take everything with a grain of salt. Know that sleep isn't linear. Know that your intuition matters. Know that it's always a process. It's always a phase. Do what feels right to you.
Yeah, I think too, we've talked a lot about nighttime sleep, but I feel like the first 6 months, a lot of the times you're hearing about naps too, and how to navigate them. Right. And if I could tell myself one thing postpartum, it would be to stop spending so much time in a dark room trying to get my baby to sleep at specific times for specific durations based on specific week windows and all of those things, because I truly feel like I wasted so many hours, days, probably years doing that, and it just wasn't good for my mental health. And sure, if it works for you, great, but I just would tell myself to stop trying to fit my baby into these molds that the internet tells you they have to be in, and get outside and live your life and
live your life.
Put them in the carrier, go walk around. If you miss your wake window, don't stress about it. Wait until the next 45 minutes. Just do whatever you have to do to feel sane, because I do feel like we've gone into this position in society where we are cutting ourselves off from the rest of the world in order to make a nap happen. And that is just not reality. And then it's so funny because I was talking to a friend the other day who was like, I spend so much time trying to get my daughter to nap, but then when she's in daycare, she naps on a cot around like 30 other people, and it's totally fine. And I think a big part of that is our babies are adaptable. They adapt and they change based on whatever their needs are, whatever their environment is. And I believe that babies can get used to the dark room only for naps, this only for naps. And it's really funny because my sister had a even more interesting one happened where her baby only would nap in the stroller. And this was for 6 months.
Yeah. I've heard of that before.
Only stroller.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how babies can have preferences like that. But at the end of the day, it's like she can't always have the stroller available for an immediate nap at an immediate time.
Right.
And same with car naps or whatever the nap is.
Know.
And, you know, you want to travel and all of a sudden you can't because your baby needs the slumber pod or your baby needs this. It's like, use the slumber pod. Use whatever you want. But just know that babies do get preferences.
Totally.
And if you want to live your life, you might want to just kind of take them along for the ride sometimes and stress less about it, because I stress so much.
I think the 80-20 rule applies to baby sleep. Okay, the first time I was drinking the Kool-Aid. Follow the wake windows. This is the schedule. The baby should sleep till 7, blah, blah. Once I finally gave that up and stopped blocking us in a dark room, I felt so much better. And maybe his sleep like wasn't as good as it could have been, right? But at least I wasn't losing my goddamn mind. So the second time around, I promised myself that I would not spend time forcing my baby to sleep at certain times. I love wake windows. I love having a flexible routine. So she wakes up at 6. I put her down around 9, but I watch her cues. I think that there's something really special about tuning into your baby's cues. I don't believe in like being like, this is nap time, we are going down for nap. Obviously when they go to school or daycare or whatever, like it is what it is. And again, they're adaptable, they can do it. But when my babies are at home with me, we're going with the flow. I try to do the first nap of the day at home because that's like typically the best nap. And then like in the afternoon, if they fall asleep in the car, great, we're rolling with it. If I want to go for a walk and I put them in the stroller and they fall asleep, cool, we're rolling with it. That is what works for me and my mental health.
Well, because if your life revolves around your baby's naps, you're not living your life. But it's a different conversation if, you know, you want to be home, that's your time to get shit done. Like, sure. But if you'd prefer to be outside, meeting with a friend, like you need that for your mental health. And my son is 2, and yesterday I almost bailed on going up to see a friend who's postpartum because I was like, 12, it's his nap time. And then I was just like, what am I doing? It's the weekend. I want to be a supportive friend and I want to be out and about, and it's better for Kelly to be out and about. What am I going to do? Sit at home until it's nap time and then make sure he gets a nap? It's just ridiculous. And he ended up napping for 40 minutes in the car, which it isn't great. They're always like toddler sleep should be 2 to 3 hours.
Can we talk about averages?
We need to talk about that for a second, because my toddler son has slept for 2 hours maybe in the day 4 or 5 times. Which is not what they will sell you. That is not what they tell you should happen.
Right.
And you know what? It's just, that's not what he does. And he's thriving and he's great. And he still sleeps 10, 11 or so hours at night and sleeps around 1.5 in the day, and he's thriving. So I don't know what to do about it.
Well,
I'm like, but do I need to do anything about it?
You don't need to do anything about it because it works for you. Also, can we talk about sleep needs? There's a huge range of normal. So like they're going to sell you this packaged up average sleep range. That's great to have a range to aim for or a range to eyeball. But pay attention to your kid. Kelly is thriving. Also, I really don't give a flying about sleep as long as my kid, when they're awake, they are content, right? Pay attention to your kid. It's nice to have guidelines.
Like if he misses a nap, for example, he might have an earlier bedtime. It's just about being flexible.
And if he's cranky and won't go down for a nap, or maybe you take him in the stroller or car naps because obviously you need this and you're having a hard time. Or maybe you sleep with him in the bed. Who freaking knows? I stopped trying to figure out my kids a long time ago. But I am just responding to their behavior and going off of that because that's what I think is the easiest way to do it all. A lot of things affect kids' sleep. My son didn't start sleeping past 6 a.m. until he was 2. And I think that there are probably multiple reasons why that is, but one of the reasons that is 100% true that I know for a fact is that he had all of his teeth. Because I know that was causing him pain in the night. Another thing is separation anxiety. They have a big stint of separation anxiety around 8 months. They have another one around 18 months. And that's obviously a range depending on your kid. So
I mean, I'm an early bird. I wake up early. I have friends that sleep till 9. I've never done that in my entire life. So some babies are going to wake up at 5. Like my baby woke up at 5 forever. It was a 5 a.m. baby, and people started telling me, I can't believe that. Like, my baby sleeps till 7, 8. Congratulations. That's not my baby, and that's fine. It's okay that he wakes up at 5. That's a normal hour in the morning. And it sucks for people who that's not a normal hour for them. But I'm not going to sit here and force my child to stay in their crib for multiple hours just because
the internet said so.
The internet said so.
It would be a different story if you were like, this is a problem for me and I'm going to try to change it, and we're going to do some things like change our routine to try to encourage him to sleep longer. But you're like, he's been sleeping for 10 and a half hours. He's not tired anymore. I'm up. He's up. We're starting the day. He'll go to bed early. Like that's your routine. Yeah. For me, like, my daughter was waking up at 5:30 and I was like, oh, maybe this is just what time she needs to wake up. She was a basket case and I was like, maybe I should try to put her back in the crib the next day. Goes back to sleep until 7, but she doesn't want to go to bed until 7:38. So it's like trial and error. I always say it's like a science experiment, and I think that the first time I really let all of these things get to me, I was like, I'm doing it wrong, something's wrong, I'm freaking out, like no one's getting enough sleep, this is failure, I feel horrible, I hate my life. And I get it, but if you take a step back, treat it like a science experiment. Take a deep breath. Think of it like, well, we'll try something else tomorrow, or we'll try this for a couple days and then try something else.
I made absolutely no changes with my son, and that time started moving a little bit more back. I think that just knowing it's all phases and you can try to make things be fixed in the moment, but it might just be who they are in the moment, and then it'll change naturally later on, is something to keep in mind. I really like that the National Sleep Foundation suggests looking at sleep as a 24-hour period instead of talking about they need this amount in the day for naps and they need this amount at night, because since we're talking about how every baby's different, sometimes your baby will be like my son and not get that full amount in the day, but he sleeps enough at night, so then together it makes sense, they're getting that 12 plus 14 plus hours. That's somehow, you know. And talking about disposition, he wakes up being like, mama, la da da ba ba, like he's happy, he's sleeping, he's a happy boy, and that's what matters. And I know he's getting the sleep he needs somehow.
Yes. I understand though, like, people are desperate for a break, right? And I
especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, so it's like that's your only break.
And I am there, I've been there. So we're not saying, oh, if your baby doesn't sleep, like, just get over it. I feel you.
But also it can be normal to take cat naps.
Totally.
So just knowing that, because I had texted Natasha for like maybe 6 months being like, I did the 2-to-1 transition for a nap, and my baby just couldn't get it. He could not get the fact that it was one nap now, and that it had to be longer than an hour, and he still hasn't gotten that, and like we still do contact naps. And it's really hard and frustrating that I'm still doing that with a 2-year-old. And I had to like mentally reframe it because I did try everything and he's just not capable of it. And I had to just be okay with downloading stuff on my Kindle and being with him sometimes. But it worked for me to reframe and figure out how I'm going to get that time for myself. I had to work stuff out with my husband about, fine, start the day early, but please come home early. I want to work out and I need time somehow.
Of course.
And if it's not going to be during his nap in the middle of the day, how can I strategize to get it? Because I need it somehow. You need a break.
And speaking of phases, your son, like at 6 months, started sleeping really well overnight, and he took 2 good naps. I remember being like, oh my God, like he's a great sleeper.
That was like prime of my life.
I know. I'm in that now. I'm sorry, but the two nap schedule is king.
Yeah, and I say prime of my life jokingly because obviously I love the stage I'm in now and I love him so much. I'm just saying my sleep is not the best.
Because you've already been through a phase of good sleep, you know that he's capable and you'll get back there.
Yeah.
And that's what I've tried to tell myself too with my daughter, who is a more needy baby than my first was. But I had to just, again, reframe and prioritize what really matters to me. And I get a few hours to myself, like you said, as long as you're getting that break. And also, she has been typically a very good napper since about 6 months. The first 6 months, let me tell you, can be horrific for naps. And so if your baby only takes a 30-minute nap at a time, that's super normal. They are typically incapable of connecting sleep cycles in the day until after 6 months. So I'm not a sleep expert, but let me drop some sleep knowledge on ya. That is okay. And if you're losing your mind, Godspeed.
Yeah. And also it's really important to note that a lot of the times the sleep courses you can buy are catered to those first 6 months. Yeah. There is not a lot of research on how effective sleep training is before 6 months. Yeah. And the reason that is because it really is so unpredictable. They're going through so much. Right. They're learning so much. So you're trying to teach them skills, but they maybe don't have the capacity yet to kind of instill those things in themselves. Right. Whereas post 6 months, there's more research that it's more effective. But that doesn't mean it can't be effective before, but what it means is it might not be. And that is normal.
It's normal. And if you are doing sleep encouraging, sleep training, whatever you want to call it, before 6 months, it may work for you. It may. But if it doesn't, don't feel like you're a failure, you're doing something wrong, there's something wrong with you, there's something wrong with your baby. Like, no, just be like, we'll give this a rest and try it again at a later date. Yeah. Maybe they're not ready.
6 months was my magic number. I don't know what.
Yeah. He started sleeping on his belly.
So that was a big one, sleeping on belly. But before 6 months, I was in the room with him. I was waking up every few hours. And then all of a sudden it was like,
yeah.
And I didn't really even do anything. And what's interesting is I did do gentle like sleep encouragement.
Yeah.
Let them cry a few minutes, go back in, comfort, see if husband can go comfort and me not feed. I tried all of those different things. And I want to say sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes there was a month where I was like, that worked. And then all of a sudden it was back to square one. Right. And I recognize now, okay, it's because it's normal for it to sometimes not be effective. Yeah. Before 6 months. And then at 6 months he was on his tummy and I retried to introduce all of those techniques and it was like magic.
Yeah. See,
he was capable and he was ready.
Yeah. Whereas like I did the exact same thing with my daughter as I did with my son and she's still not doing it, and that is also normal. Yeah. Some babies are just less interested in listening to what you want them to do.
Some babies just need mama more too.
My baby is a barnacle. My son would go to anybody, smile at people in the grocery store,
call Costco employees dada.
Literally anyone. He was like, dada, mama. We went to a wedding once and some like woman was holding my son and he didn't want to come back to me. And I started crying. I'm like, he just doesn't even care about me. My daughter, someone looks at her and she starts crying. She's like, I only want my mother. She is in a facing me carrier still. She will not turn around in the stroller. She does not want to see the world. She only wants to see me.
That is so cute.
It is. It's normal, but it's so stark difference from my son that I know that's why she's still waking up in the night. My son would wake up in the morning and la, 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 la. He knew someone was coming to get him. My daughter wakes up crying every single time. Where are you, bitch?
Think about how interesting it would be. So now that you know, because you've had two different experiences, if your daughter had come first.
Right.
I can see how people would be so, am I doing something wrong? What's happening? Is this normal? But now that you know you've done the same techniques and that babies are different, it must give you more of a sense of confidence in the fact that I'm not doing anything wrong. They're just different.
100%.
And it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal, but the first time around, I felt like it was a big deal.
Yeah.
I felt like, in addition to me being so desperate for a break, so desperate for sleep, there's all these schedules online. If you just feed your baby, they will sleep. No, it's not all about feeding.
Play, sleep. Eat, play, sleep.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Next.
I nurse my babies to sleep.
Me too. If you ever tell a mother to not nurse a baby to sleep, literally...
Or bottle feed to sleep.
Goodbye.
Like, it is biologically normal for babies to want to nurse or bottle feed to sleep. That makes them sleepy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And sometimes... And this takes me back to, like, people are like, just swaddle, just...
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about the swaddle for a second. And pacifiers.
Yeah.
Not all babies will like them. My baby was a swaddle rejecter. He was a pacifier rejecter. So excuse me while I use my titties to soothe him because nothing else will.
Anyone that's telling you that you have to follow some sort of schedule, they're out.
Yeah.
Like, eat, play, sleep. Neither of my kids did that work for.
And if it does work for you, fine. But
Great.
If not, move on. Try
on.
Something else. Don't get stressed about it.
Yes.
Don't think something's wrong with you or your baby or anything. It's just not working.
People are like, your baby's never going to sleep if you feed to sleep.
By the way, when we talked about my son sleeping through the night, I fed to sleep every night.
Yeah.
I fed to sleep every night until he was 20 months old.
Yeah.
And he slept so well all the way through the night. I would try to brush his teeth after. But.
Really? I don't even try. I brush their teeth before they have their baba or their milk or whatever. And this is biologically normal to nurse to sleep. And if people have been doing it for hundreds of years, and maybe that's why they have teeth that fall out. I don't know.
Well, because people will tell you not to nurse to sleep because
of cavities. Nursing to sleep, I'm sorry. Come at me, dentists. Processed foods, sugar is the problem. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Maybe you're approaching like age 2 but even then, it's like our bodies made this substance to feed our child.
It's natural.
It's so natural. And
I don't subscribe to it.
Let's look at what else your child's eating. Like dried strawberries all day.
Not my breast milk.
Yeah, don't come from my breast milk. It's straight from the tap. When you are going through the subject of sleep in the first 6 months, 1 year, whatever, it's like you hear about a regression every month. And at some point, I kind of want to just be like, sleep is all over the place.
Yeah.
It goes like this, then like this, then like this, then like this, and that's normal.
Yeah.
And it's not, the 3 month, the 4 month, the this. Like,
right.
It just became so chaotic to the point where I was like, there's no actual regressions. It's just every month.
It's just not linear.
It's not linear, and I hate that we like hone in on these specific regressions because it sets people up for, it's not the 4 month regression yet, so what is it?
Right.
It's this or it's this. It's like, no,
dude,
calm down. It's not.
My son got, surprise, 2 teeth at 3 months. And I was like, oh my God, it's the 4 month sleep regression. He was in pain. He was getting teeth. Like, they're sick. They're going through something. They're changing. Why do we need to label anything?
Why do we need to label it? They're learning so much.
It just is what it is.
And it keeps going on.
Lower your expectations. And you will be so much happier. Stop forcing it.
The other day I Googled 2-year regression and then I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
My son is 2 years. I don't need to be Googling regressions and what that means. Like, I just need to be paying attention to him.
Yeah.
Understanding what's going on and moving on with my life.
I will say that I have Googled those things, and at certain points it has given me a comfort because I'm like, okay, this is normal. I have gotten comfort in the fact that something's going on developmentally that makes their sleep wonky.
Yeah, I think just knowing they happen all the time.
100%.
And that it's normal.
And that I don't need...
So something's not wrong with your baby's specific regression.
Right.
Just to know that regressions happen all the time and it's just your baby's learning and...
Don't get me started on leaps. If someone tells me that it's a fucking leap, like, I'm sorry, do 3.5-year-olds have leaps? Because he's been having a leap for a year. It will drive you crazy. You can get into the weeds, and I've been there. I've been in the weeds. I'm in the weeds.
It goes back to we're talking about the wrong things.
Yeah.
We're losing our intuition.
We're losing sight of what matters.
Let's reconnect with our baby and just figure out what's going on.
So my son is 3.5, and one of my friends was like, honestly, I don't care if he naps or not, as long as he's not a psychopath in the afternoon and we can get through the day without losing our minds. I think that's such a great way to go at it because some days they nap because they're tired and some days they don't. My cousin once told me that her 4-year-old needs a nap every 5 days. And knowing that sometimes they need more sleep, sometimes they don't.
It's just about reconnecting with your child and stop trying to label it or fit them into boxes.
One of my friends, her son just had really low end sleep needs. He didn't need 10 hours at night and a 2-hour nap in the day. And that's the low end of the range. Total bummer. But she was like, he just is low sleep needs. And he was totally fine. He was not tired. She was like, I can't force him to sleep more.
My son has low nap needs unless he's on mama.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to get stuff done, and that means I put him on a surface and he sleeps for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, he really needs this nap, so I'm going to sacrifice my need for time and I'm gonna put him first. Right. And it's about balancing that.
Yeah, and sometimes my daughter takes shit naps in the day and then she sleeps more at night. I don't know.
Yeah.
All comes out in the wash.
It all works out. Just don't believe some of the myths you are sold about sleep, and just know that it is not linear. It is constantly evolving. You have to try things out. You have to reconnect with your child, learn what they need, learn what you need, lean on your partner, lean on friends, especially in the beginning.
Use all of the noise online, if you subscribe to any of it, as a suggestion, but don't take anything as a rule, because you know your baby. Tap into their cues. I think wake windows and having a general idea of like when babies at a certain age might be tired.
That's the thing, is we're making it too hard with too many gadgets and tech things and courses, and I think that it comes down to the fact that sleep is important.
Yes.
For adults, it's very important for children. So yeah, that's why it becomes an important topic, and that's why so many people are trying to sell you things, because we want sleep, right? That's the goal. We all want sleep, and
parents are desperate, and people will tap into that with predatory marketing to try to sell you something to make money. You have to remember that all of these things are companies trying to make money, and they're preying on you when you are desperate.
Yeah. And that's the tea on sleep.
That is the tea.
We all need to just tap a little more into the things that matter, and I just can't wait next time to go into it knowing what I know now, and to spend less time in a dark room and more time just figuring out my baby and connecting with them and doing what I need to do to feel sane, which is being out in the world, and sometimes taking baby with me, and if that means they get a shorter nap, then we'll figure it out together, and just stressing less. And if it means
stressing less,
let's all stress less, and if schedules and all this stuff helps your mental health, then that's what you should do. And then if you're like me and it impacts it in a really negative way, then you can go another route. It's just about figuring out what helps.
Yeah, allow space to change your mind too.
Yes.
Like, I thought that I was the kind of person who was gonna need a schedule, and then once I went through it and the schedule was not working and my baby didn't respond well, normalize changing your mind and being like, maybe I'm gonna try this. And
a lot of people say I'll never co-sleep.
Oh.
And then they co-sleep. And
I co-slept the second time around because I was like, I have another kid and I have to sleep because I have things I have to do in the day. I can't be up all night like trying to soothe this baby to sleep in a crib that she hates.
And studies show that no matter what a doctor will tell a woman to do, many women in their lifetime all over the world will co-sleep at least once with their newborn, like majority of women. And so what I say to that is, make sure you're getting, instead of a absolutely no, never co-sleep mantra, you should get a here is how you safely co-sleep and why it can improve mental health if you do it in the correct, safe way. And you got to do whatever you need to do to survive.
Something I will say about co-sleeping is that it doesn't have to be forever, right?
Yeah.
Like, in the moment when I was doing it, I did it for my mental health because I was like, I need to sleep, and whatever I have to do to get that is what I'm going to do. My daughter, for a stint of time, would only sleep literally attached to my boob. And I was like, this is how we're going to sleep. I did it safely. I moved into another room with her. I followed the Safe Sleep 7 rules meticulously. And then at a certain point, I was like, okay, I'm done co-sleeping. This no longer works for me. And I did some steps to encourage her to sleep in her own space. Yeah. So let's just normalize adjusting and evolving and changing your mind and learning new things and then making different decisions. It's all a process, and nobody's perfect, and just got to do what works. Yeah. And we are here to support you. No judgment. Do what you got to do. Mom's rule.
We hope you guys get some sleep tonight.
Me too, because last night was rough.
I've been watching Love Island in the dark with my son in the same bed as me with earphones on, so that's what I will be doing tonight.
I've got a text.
Signing off. Thanks for listening, guys.